Hello, I will show you how to do this exercise, community area and dashboards and typologies. Here we will look at socioeconomic and housing characteristics for each westside neighborhood. As you know, there's 6: Rose Park, Fairpark, Westpointe, Jordan Meadows, Poplar Grove, and Glendale. Here we will categorize these neighborhoods as different types. So we have I created like several typologies. There's 3: a strong market but at risk of homeowners, um, meaning that the market is doing very well, but the prices might be increasing too fast to the point that people, especially the homeowners, might be at risk. They're paying too much in mortgages and so on. Semi-strong market, so it's a market that might be mixed. Renter owners is doing um, well, but the prices are not like crazy just yet. Then we have like stable and affordable communities. So these are places that there might be a lot of renters, a lot of immigrants might be moving there. The prices are pretty affordable. Um, and part of the ideas that we will see is like how you have different strategies depending on the neighborhood. So here, the data I already collected. You just have to go to the folder, the Google Drive folder, and find this file in where I already collected the data. So if you go to the Dropbox, you will find this community typology, and I already created these typologies. So it's like I collected data. There was like owner occupied median income, renter occupied, vacant units, percent owner occupied, renters, and so on. And then based on these, I saw what was happening in each neighborhood by creating like a summary based on is it like below, is it high, medium, or low? Maybe that's the best way to describe it. So here we have like owner occupied median income. Green, it means that is kind of high in Glendale, so it's higher incomes there for homeowners. And we have that Rose Park is also high, and you can see here that Jordan Meadows and Westpointe is really low, while Poplar Grove and Fairpark is more like in the middle, right? And then we did the same thing for renters, for vacant units, and so on. So after kind of like going through these different categorizations, and we didn't include everyone, so there's like some data here that I didn't think that it was as important to use, but like some of these ones we did. So basically the typology created here is like Glendale, and the end it was like people who are higher income, higher vacancy, high percent of owner occupied, overcrowded, which means like more people than 1.1 person is a 1.5 person for room. Large households, so you can expect a lot of families here too, but we didn't look at that. High rents and mortgages, so people are really like cost burden here, and high percent of cost burden, and low mixed housing type. So it means that this place is like mostly homeowners, not a lot of people like really renting. Then we have like this categorization. I just put it as like a strong market and as risk homeowners because there's barely any renters, right? But the market is like doing so well to the point that people are paying tons of money for mortgages, and they're also cost burden. And here you have like the other different categories. I will not explain each one of them, but basically what you need to do is just like try to understand them, to explain them to the class, and try to see what is the logic of like a score system. This is like very popular for planners to like categorize communities in different ways, just depending of different trends that you are observing. Maybe I can explain this like two, which is like semi-strong market and stagnant. So semi-strong market, it would be like mid incomes in comparison, still high vacancy, um, and this one differs actually from another semi-strong market. So this was Fairpark, so it was also mid income, but here it was low vacancy. I still lump them together because they have more things that were similar than different. Like this, like beige or orange kind of color shows like they were not quite the same, but they share a lot of characteristics to be called a semi-strong market, which those characteristics was like it's a place where there's a lot of renters and owners. There's some mid-range rents and mortgages, and mid-range of percent of people cost burden, and there's some mix in types of units. Even though these things were a little bit different, that is okay. They still like share a lot in common to be sort of like sister communities in that way. And then we have Jordan Meadows and Westpointe, and these ones were stagnant, and they actually like share everything. Well, share most things. As you can see, like mid vacancy and low vacancy. I didn't mark those like in the color, but basically most of them are the same. This one is low percent of non-families, and this one is higher percent of non-families, meaning that there's a lot of single individuals, but otherwise they share most of these categories, and therefore they can be like put together. So then at the end, what we get is like a typology, and again, I'm suggesting this typology. You can say, yeah, this is great, and then just choose this, or you can say, no, I would like to categorize it in a different way. There's not like a true answer here. These are just like observing trends and trying to match and pair. So we have like here that I categorize in type 2, type 1, type 2, type 3, and I already explained which ones or what this like means. In general, this is kind of like a summary. So the strong market means like high cost areas. Semi-strong market might be like moderate cost, and stable and affordable, really low cost. And this is the type of community: Glendale, Poplar Grove, Fairpark, Jordan Meadows, and so on. So the idea is like how to make this look pretty, so it's like a nice typology. So something that it looks like a dashboard. And in dashboard, there's like many places online that you can do infographics, or you can use some of these. I would not show this, but for example, this image, you can actually like find like a graph that you would do and convert it in a picture, and then change the picture. Let's see exactly where it is. You should be able to actually change the picture behind and create a graph just like this one. Now I'm like trying to see where it is. I think that's just looking in the inside. Cannot quite remember how it was, but I'm sure if you look enough, you can. What I did, it was just this is like the image, and it's empty, and then I look for a picture inside of a picture. I don't know like how to explain that, but there might be very creative ways that you can do something like this, being the point, and you can use all these different types of infographics to make your dashboard per community. Here's like some example of like how to show some markets. So basically in this one, you would show the data itself, right? So there's this many owners, there's this many renters per community without doing the typology. So this is just the dashboard. And you can again include the data that is part of the typology, but the idea here is that people will actually see what is the data behind the logic of the typology. And here you will actually show the typology, and you can create the first typology here, that's type 1, type 2, type 3, and then just describe here what is it. In the first one, it was a high cost for owners, high payments of mortgages, just like type here what the typology means. And this is an example that is a little bit different, but this one that was done by some other students for a Chicago lab that I had. But again, I think that this is like a more simple way of doing it. And finally, at the end, like what is important as a takeaway is that you can have different strategies depending on the typology. So if it's a place like Jordan Meadows and like Westpointe, in where right now homes are very affordable, the idea is like how can you prepare for the future, so that you could think that the city will want to buy some of the land there, so they can make deals with developers in where they can offer the land, and then they will develop affordable housing, because the idea is that as the city densifies, those spaces that are lower income and lower cost, they might experience more development. So there will be a good time right now to invest. Then we have like places that are more cost, like Poplar Grove or Fairpark. And here the idea is that you can preserve what exists, and you can still invest, of course. But the idea is to like keep this mix between like renters and homeowners, housing preservation, new buildings, and so on. So right now these places are ideal places to actually like live, right? Then you have the places that are high cost areas, like Glendale is experiencing like changes in where there might be a lot of overcrowding. Most of in these neighborhoods are homeowners that are paying too much for their mortgages. So the idea here is like, how do you slow down the kind of interest of like people buying and buying and buying and rising up the prices? So you might think about strategies that can help people to stay there, or even if it's like a little bit of help for homeowners to get low-cost loan, make fix their roof or things like that, but they can stay there as opposed to being cost burden. So the idea is like how we can interfere in all these different markets. So I hope that was helpful, and if you have any questions, just feel free to email me or call me. Thank you.